Hey everyone, hope you're having a great Tuesday. We got a lot to talk about, and we wanted to do the Facebook Live early, the live weather update, because, well, let's just say things might change here before the 10 o'clock.
Before the 10 o'clock,
Yeah,
for sure.
big time changes. Look who we got. We got our weather intern, Wyatt Puck. How you doing, Wyatt?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, so there he
That's good.
is, Dan Payton and Wyatt. So have you been enjoying interning?
I have. It's been a lot of fun. You've been teaching me a whole bunch, and it's been very welcoming here. It's been great.
Very cool. I
It's
know
good.
we've been busy. We've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. It seems like it's a really busy season. The weather's been really busy, but you can get some practice in front of the wall today.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I did a little bit of it yesterday.
Oh yeah, we're going to be here
Heck
to
yeah.
watch. So I can't wait for that. And hey, I know you're going to rock it out. But let's talk about what we've got going on. A lot of things happening. First of all, we wanted to jump into the weather headlines because here's one of the things that we want to mention is that I've been really watching this close, these devastating fires out in the Texas and Oklahoma area, the Texas Panhandle. My in-laws live in that area. In fact, they were trying to get home. They were blocked by several roads, and several roads were closed because of these fires. I just want to give you an indication of what they look like, as they're pretty tremendous right now, and there's a lot of fires that are just absolutely out of control. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up weather 2. And hey, Vance, how you doing, man? Good to see you, and hope you're doing well. This is a look at the fires that are currently ongoing, the grass and wildfires. Everywhere you see those orange shades, that's literally fires.
That's literally fire.
Those are flames, and the flames are absolutely intense. Now, Pampa, where I have my in-laws, granddad, my wife's grandfather, Papa, he lives in Pampa. They're evacuating Pampa. Hopefully, it doesn't make it into the area. I'm going to show you, though, where exactly Pampa is located. You can see it right here. If we zoom in, there's the city lights of Pampa. And look at how close that fire is as the northerly wind takes over. Remember, north wind is wind coming from the north. Then you've got Canadian that's surrounded by fires. That's that area right there. And you see those areas as that's just surrounding it. But hopefully it'll go out and Canadian gets spared. And hopefully Pampa gets spared as well. But and then also tremendous fires west of Woodward. We take that way all the time to travel towards Booker. And there's a feedlot there that's just to the west of Woodward in this rural area. And you can see Shattuck right here where my wife was born. So there's a lot of things going on here in the Texas and Oklahoma Panhandle, and I wanted to let you know about that. Now we're going to get to some other weather headlines for us. A strong cold front. This baby is arriving here, and it is going to be stout. I mean, we're talking about a major temperature drop. Wyatt, go ahead and scoot on in here a little bit more. We got a little bit of a small view here, just so we don't block any of the other graphics on there. So cold front is arriving. We'll show you that. I do believe pop-up storms are not out of the question. The models have been wishy-washy on this. The dew points are in the 50s, as you'll see. There's a lot of differences from what the HRRR showed last night, which is what we illustrated. And it's a totally different environment, essentially, than what the models were showing. There are some thunderstorms that are popping up to our north, and this is happening near Fort Scott and Pittsburgh. And in fact, you can see that activity remaining to the north, but there's still some energy, a lot of it off to the west, and I'll show you exactly where that front is. That CU field, though, I know there is quite a cumulus field. We'll show you that as well. But my goodness, yeah, there's a lot going on. So there's a look at the cold front that arrived. So first of all, I want to take you through the wind advisory. This goes until 3 a.m. The winds have been absolutely whipping up today. And but even though the winds have been whipping up, there's a lot of burn bans that are in effect, but the relative humidities are a lot higher than what was expected. So where in West Texas? Well, we just went through that. It's mainly in the central part of the Texas Panhandle. So if you know where Pampa is, it's north of Pampa. You've got Hemphill County, which is where Canadian is at. So it's those rows of counties just to the east of Dumit. Yeah, Hutchinson County. Roberts County, all those areas.
East of Dumas.
Yep. So very, very, very bad fires. I'll go back to that real quick, Ronnie, and show you in case you're just jumping on. Then we'll go back again. But And then also too in west of Woodward, there's some bad stuff that's going on. So you can see those fires. That's literally the satellite, and then those are the high clouds that are streaming in over the satellite. So if we zoom in a little more, it doesn't have all the mapping, but you can see at the very end of this loop, as I stop it and animate it, these are the city lights right here. So there's the city lights of Shattuck. There's the city lights of Canadian. Maybe Canadian gets spared, but look at what's to the southwest of that, southeast of that. So I know you got Wheeler that's in there, Shattuck, several other areas that are going to be watched out. Not Shattuck, but Shamrock, but that's a little north of it. And here you see Borger right here. This is where the city lights of Borger are at. The fires are basically surrounding. But if you look, this is Pampa. Pampa is a very large area. If we loop that again, you're going to see those fires dropping south. And gosh, I hope they die out.
Over 250,000 acres burned.
250,000.
That's just the Texas ones.
Yeah. So Pampa, no, Amarillo's not on fire. But the fire is headed towards Amarillo.
Hopefully they get it contained. As of right now, the A&M Forestry Service said 0% contained.
That's not good.
And it grew about 40 square miles just in this morning.
So the Stinnett fire, yes, that's spreading south. That's why
Yeah.
Pampa is evacuating.
It's rapidly growing.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's go back to our weather. There's the burn bans that are in effect, but and there's 25 burn bans in all. Keep in mind this map could have been updated here shortly. So our temperatures are at 70 degrees. Guess what? Models actually didn't do too shabby with this. They
Well,
have
after 10 o'clock, they were
Yeah,
decent.
I know.
Throughout the day, they were absolute trash.
Exactly. They were trash. Look at Tulsa at 76. Compressional warming right ahead of the front. Now look at this front. Oh my goodness. You can easily see that front. I do believe thunderstorms are not out of the question as that
Especially with all
front
that forcing.
drops
Man.
to the south. So there's a look at the front about to come through Amarillo. And that, yes, as Josh said, that northerly wind did not help because the wind shift just completely took over with those fires. Now, here's the dew points. 57 now. We're
Oh,
getting
still
close to
climbing.
60. Well, it makes sense. You got a south wind and you got higher dew
course.
points to the south. Now, the HRRR, what that had is a westerly wind, which I didn't believe at all. And it had drying out. It had the dew point and the dry line like basically off to the west. That's not the case.
This time yesterday, it had the dew point 39 in some spots.
That's true. That is true. The dry air behind the front will not aid in the fire issues. That's right, because the dry air will drop the relative humidity, and the relative humidity lower means that fires can spread rapidly.
Yeah.
But there's a look at 27 in Wichita degrees colder than what it was yesterday. So we've got a strong front coming in. And say goodbye to the warm weather. But look at this big time temperature drop. In fact, it's just changed now because it's not as cold because it was colder this time 24 hours ago. But still,
I'm going to make another one that's 12 hours ago because that would be really neat.
That would be
To
good.
go from the 80s to the 20s.
So there's not even a storm in Northwest Arkansas. And I don't believe there's going to be any tornado warnings tonight. I just don't see that. I think it's a mainly wind and hail event. If we do see that development, High heat and cooling mega Doppler showing everything pretty quiet right now. Let's get into the storm risk and show you what's going on. So this is what the surface analysis has. And I don't believe that at all. That's not right. So we got to take that warm front and basically bring it northward like that.
The dry line?
I mean the dry line, excuse me. Yes, thank you. Yeah, not the warm front. The dry line. So that dry line is basically a well, I think hail will be a possibility too, Evan, because there's elevated instability. So yeah. So there's a look at the front dropping south. Now there are tornadoes along the warm front. And if I'm storm chasing and a storm chasing man, I would take the warm front any day. In fact, bring up Weather One computer. We got a confirmed tornado in Illinois that's currently ongoing. Hit the Alt. Okay. All right. And let's go ahead and we'll move over here on this. These storms are moving out pretty quick. Oh man,
Oh,
that's
it's still confirmed.
going towards Chicago. So
They've
we
had
got
quite a few
we got to
recently.
switch radars here real quick. All right, so switching radars. How bad was the wind? We're flying into XNA at 9. It's going to be real bumpy, Molly. Just be ready for that. There also could be thunderstorms as well. But there's a look at right along the warm front. Now we bring up Mega Doppler, and there's a look at the 2 storms. So it looks like it just dropped the confirmed, huh? Just dropped it.
I'll go back a little bit.
Yeah.
That's when it was confirmed.
There you can see that circulation.
But some very strong winds.
So we got some new technology here at KNWA, courtesy of this gentleman by the name of Andrew. There's a thing called the tornado probability, which is a storm net, and it's something that predicts, and it actually doesn't do a terrible job. We're still fine tuning it in terms of checking it out and seeing how well it works, but this gives you an idea of the probability of a tornado within a 1 hour window. And here is a look at what it shows. So
What
there's
happened
the
to my
storm
banner
net.
with the percents on?
I probably didn't update it. So yeah, I'll look. We'll
right.
get that new one with the percentages on there. I don't know. I don't want to do it now live though, but yes, we do need to add the percentages. But basically, the middle of the road there is 50%. So where it goes blue to yellow, that's 50% probability. However, this is done pretty well, and so it ticks up and it shows you basically how it looks within the next hour, tornado probability. So that's something new that the weather team, your weather authority team, has, and it's thanks to a gentleman that's been doing some AI learning on some tornado probabilities. Pretty cool stuff, man.
A lot of people probably against AI, especially when it comes to predicting the weather. But this has been rocking. StormNet has been.
Yeah, it really has been good for sure. So scooting out of the way real quick.
Yeah, and we've tested it with cases like.
Just want to
Little
give a
Rock,
shout
March
out, yeah, to
31st.
Andrew Brady.
Andrew
Andrew Brady is his name. All right, so back to our severe weather risk. There it is. We're about to get a new update here at 7 o'clock.
Just in time for the 7 o'clock.
Just in time for the 7 o'clock show, and we'll see if there's any changes to this. Now, what's interesting is this has been adjusted multiple times today. It was way east of us with not even a thunderstorm in the morning at 6Z. Then it shifted back to the west at 1630. Now it's shifted back even more at the 20Z. Maybe not much of a difference from 1630 to 20Z, but you can see the outlined area for a marginal risk. This is mainly between 8 p.m., which is just in about an hour or so. And Josh says the capping overhead isn't as impressive as it was earlier. Wouldn't surprise me if we had a couple isolated storms pop up. Wouldn't surprise me in the least, which is why we've had it in the forecast for the last several days. Let's look at some high-resolution modeling. We're going to have to adjust the timing of this front because it basically is coming through. So this is what you wanted to know about. Chris says, no tornadoes, get a coat. And hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Good to see you on here. Looking quite dapper with that profile pic. Here's a look at the storm potential. See how that develops right around 8, 9 o'clock? See how fast that front moves in? We got to adjust this. I'll adjust this for the new one here. I really wish you'd be able to set the time on that like the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's a look at the front coming through. Check this out. Okay, now I got to adjust this and drop this south. So you're going to get to see. By the way, these frontal timings, we adjust them ourselves. So just to let you know, that's kind of about where it is right now. And so here it is coming through. See those storms popping up? That's enough to bring some rain, and I just don't think the models are handling the instability very well because they have way too low a dew points. In fact, let's check it out for the first time. Let's see if it's underdoing. Nope, it's overdoing.
Yeah.
Like normal.
As always, it overdoes the dew point. Let's look at the Euro, what it's doing. That's pretty good. That's pretty spot on right there. 59
Nice.
gets up to 60, then it rapidly drops off. The GFS isn't too bad either. So let's look at some high-resolution computer modeling real quick. We'll look at the newest HRRR as we're checking that out. There is quite a bit of forcing. Here's the 3-kilometer graph. Okay, so this updates every hour. And I didn't draw the fronts on here, but wow, look at that. A little more storm activity That's enough to verify rain, though. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
We just want to
It's not
verify some
all
rain.
we care about.
Well, most of it.
Yeah.
It's nice getting some points.
Yeah, nice to get some verification points with our forecast contest. So, yeah, maybe a little less on the storm activity as that system moves east, but I don't think it's handling everything properly. So that's the 3 kilometer. We already showed you the 4 kilometer. Let's go to the European. Let's see what the European has. So here's a look at the European, and yeah, that's got quite a bit more. So that's right around midnight and a little bit before. Let's look at the GFS. Here's the GFS. Ooh, that's interpolated. I don't like interpolated. Taking that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't look good because it makes it looks like it blobs. Watch. If I put interpolate on there, it's just kind of like a blob where it kind of just it goes
Right.
up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Nah, that's trash. This is better, in my opinion. I know it's not as smooth, but it gives you more of a representation.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the GFS. Pain if you change that. Sorry. Here's a look at if you changed it to interpolate. I don't know if you did or not, but here's a look at the HRRR. Nothing. It's been going back and forth every time.
Huh. Now it shows nothing.
Now it shows nothing.
Okay.
Okay, whatever. Exactly. But it also has us at 69, and we're in the 70s.
Yes. That's
The
a
dew
problem.
point's way too low. Haha, bro, keep the cold away. Yeah, speaking of the cold. Now, this is the magic one here. If you want thunderstorms and you want some active weather, check out this. This
Put
is
all
the
your eggs in
NAM
that
3
basket.
kilometer. Honestly, that makes the most sense considering the instability, the amount of forcing that's along the front. And so I just don't believe that this front comes through without anything. I would be surprised if it does. I really would, especially as strong as this system is. And yeah, I think that's about it. Let's look at the precipitation here. They all show rain of some kind, but this might be also including Thursday's precipitation. So,
Yeah, probably.
all right, real quick, last thing. There is a tornado watch up in Wisconsin. Yep, there absolutely is, Brian. And we were checking that out. Yeah, there you go. Potentially, there's no doubt about that. Here's a look at this frontal boundary. Check this out. Oh, my goodness. So about 10 o'clock, it comes through. We're going to be doing a Facebook Live as the front moves in. I think that'll be fun. I could be me outside. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
We'll be outside.
I could be outside because it might be during the 9 o'clock.
I don't think microbursts are going to. Whoops. I was clicking on a different one. I don't think microbursts are going to be possible, Roby, because the storms aren't very elevated. There could be some gusty winds, but this isn't your classic
Well, it's
microburst
elevated
setup.
instability, but
Yeah.
not super tall.
Yeah.
Storms.
Not super tall and not super humid either. I mean, there could be some downbursts, but I don't know.
Just a couple downdrafts.
What do you think? Do you
microbursts.
think microbursts are possible? I guess they're
No.
always possible, but it's not
Nah, the
ideal
DK
conditions.
DK was pretty weak sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see it.
So the
Yeah.
downdraft cape isn't really there. But then again, the models could be all off.
Which
Oh,
they have
oh,
been
heck yeah.
running off.
Oh, Donita said Verdict is on if I like Baja Blast soda. So
Tell us.
remember, you got to get the Freezy, the
Okay, well,
Baja
you gotta
Blast
get the soda
Freezy.
first. That's what came first.
All right.
Right.
All right.
The chicken came before the egg.
Well, there's that front coming in, and look at the temperature drop. Golly, look at the wind chill by 2 a.m. We're already in the teens. And
We're
then
gonna
we
stay
drop
here
down
tonight.
even more into the mid-teens. So you're going to have to flip on the heater, man. You've got to flip on the heater tomorrow morning. That's insane.
Not if I don't have to leave. We'll stay here. I'm not going out in the cold.
You don't think the heater's not this pace won't work? Oh, she loves it.
All right.
All right.
the club.
It's super sweet. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure you brush your teeth afterwards. I don't want
Yeah.
dentists after me.
Instant cavity.
So there's a look at the temperature tomorrow. I personally think 40s is going to be tough, but we get there. But I have my doubts if we do. But models are showing it. It makes sense because this cold air doesn't stick around very long. Okay, so there is a lot of uncertainty for next week. I'll bring this up real quick because we'll take a look at it. But boy, this is even more uncertain now, huh? For next week. Oh, have you
Yeah.
seen this? Okay, so
Really
next
pretty-
week, this is the system that comes in Saturday into Sunday. A lot of energy, but now it's focused more to the north. So now it's shifted again.
The polar jet is too far north.
Yeah, polar jets too far north,
I mean, which is
subtropical jets
perfectly
down there
fine.
for rain and storms, but just
Oh,
mean, it's
what a
active.
mess.
it's active. There's no doubt it's active. It's very active, but I don't know. I have my doubts if it's going to be.
I think for some reason these long range models are trying to shove troughs down. They're trying to shove that polar jet down far south, but it's not quite that time of the year yet.
There's a look at the cold air that arrives. So there's the blast of cold air for tomorrow, and then look at how quickly that retreats. Sticks around for Thursday. That could bring a few flurries in the area. It's not out of the question Thursday night. It'll be above freezing, but it wouldn't be surprising if we saw some flurries. Now look at that cold air that kind of lingers and then drops in, and it's just all over the place. This is why we don't spend a lot of time on the long range, just because you can look at stuff till you're blue in the face, and it's just like, whatever. It's going to change. Look at that. Split flow, trash.
And that's changed a lot.
That
since,
changed a whole lot.
Yeah, that changed
That
a lot
had-
since last time.
That had a negatively tilted ski jump jet stream. Now remember, this could change back, but right now that doesn't look overly impressive. This also does the same exact thing. So the models are pretty consistent, which is exactly why the Storm Prediction Center is saying predictability too low. Now that's going to be some rising motion with the left exit region of the jet, thanks to you and your weather blog. If you want to check that out, learn about jet streams and jet streaks and the source of lift with them. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Let's see what the European shows next week. Nothing. A few isolated storms popping up here and there. Before it had a massive line of storms with severe weather potential, but at this point, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
It's also just
And
way
weather
too
Twitter
far
needs
out.
to chill out. Yeah. So Brian says, I think we're going to get a couple of good storms.
Yeah.
It sure feels like it outside. The
Sure
humidity is
possible.
high. You can turn on the lights. Thanks, Sydney.
That Mike and IFB here in a second.
Yeah, I know. It's all different. It's all changing. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, because what changed on the models could be incorrect.
Yeah.
And it actually ends up being a big trough.
Well,
But it's
maybe-
not worth it looking 7 days out and obsessing over it. It just isn't. Just
Um,
isn't.
I mean, it's just like with this system, we've gone back and forth with the models, and even now, just like a few hours ahead of it, the models are just completely inconsistent.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
that's exactly what we're kind of getting at here with how much it can change.
It does. It
Well said,
sure
Wyatt.
does.
Well said.
Yeah. Good job, Wyatt. All righty. Well, I think that about covers it. One last look. We'll show you the 7-day forecast on KNWA News at 10. Also, Peyton's got KXNW at 7, which starts in just a few minutes. So that's on channel 34, 34.1 if you have an antenna. But there's a look at the lows tonight, 28. Now remember, that wind is going to be even colder. And here's a look at the high temperatures tomorrow, holding off in the mid 40s. And honestly, this area right here, let me go back to that before you show the
So to
storms.
build my first forecast.
Yeah, mid 20s, that's possible, but the model isn't doing very well in Benton County. I think it's going to be colder than Fayetteville. Fayetteville probably be the warmer
Yeah.
spot, honestly. So low 40s. Today was weird. It's like summer and winter at the same time. Sun was baking with a chilly wind. Yeah, it's so true. It's a very weird day.
Yeah.
One last look at the Mega Doppler source. Let's hit Alt Tab and bring up the other one. So there we go. Let's see if there's any development. No development yet, but we can see the front. It's just northwest of Tulsa. Look at that front driving. Oh, yeah. You can see it right there. It's about to come through Miami. The last image right here, Peyton, is your front. Right there. If we look at the wind
Yeah.
shift,
I think a lot of this
That's
down
it.
there,
Oh,
still
yep.
waters, could be some smoke.
there it is. Look at that front.
Yeah,
And
close.
when we do this and we change the color table, now you really see it. Oh,
Can I get the mic high? FB?
yep, you sure can.
I still have to build a first forecast.
Okay. Let me go to hold on, where is it? Something's weird here. What? Okay, here.
I'm gonna tell them brother.
Here we go. Here we go. I got it right here. There we go. There you go. Now you can really see the front. Changing the color table on you. All right, guys. Well, Peyton's going to build the show. Go ahead and you can do that on weather 1.
No, I told him with it too.
Oh, he did? Okay.
So I'll have to open it and take the lock and stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. All righty. Well, we got to run because we got a show coming up. But stay tuned tonight because we're going to do a Facebook Live as the front moves in, and we'll get to see that temperature drop right before your eyes as we get our Kestrel out and see how fast it drops. See you guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. God bless, and we'll be watching that front and the storm potential closely.